Oh, yeah, okay, microphone does work. You gotta turn it on. You gotta turn the damn thing on first.
I say the exact same thing before the 10 every now and then.
You gotta turn it on first. He's like, no, there. Wait, what is this? Oh, yeah, that's what they did to do it. You just gotta turn it on. And then you feel it. And it's like, oh, Romper is. Okay. Take it down to the
All right.
Dalmatians. People have signed up to read stuff. Okay. Okay. So, those of you who were here last month, remember we had a soccer game happen, and they did that. They did that, and I think everybody survived the soccer game. We survived. Apparently. But thanks for coming to Russ's Romper room. I'm Russ. It is a joy to have you here at the fabulous Cutter Lounge. And while, you wait. You get over this applause shit. You'll get over that. But since I'm here on the microphone and you guys are kind of paying attention, I'm going to tell you that here, there you go. And what the fuck is it? Wait a minute. I'm organized today, motherfuckers. Okay. Yes, calendar. Okay. And today is, oh shit, that day. Okay. Is that right? 2 weeks from Friday, on September the 4th, that is a Friday in September, the first one, which will be on the 4th, we're going to, here at the Corner Lounge, we're going to have an art show featuring the art of our dear Wayne Bledsoe. Yeah. And the great Doug Hemphill. Yeah. It's going to be a cool art show. Guys, y'all want to, it's going to be up all through September, but we're going to have an opening on Friday, September 4th. We're going to have all their art put up. You can buy, and man, these guys do some really cool ass art that you want on your fucking wall. I mean that. And then so we're going to get together and celebrate the art of Wayne and Doug, and then at around 8 o'clock-ish, we're going to have music first off by the debut of Benny the Blade, which is Jay Martin, formerly of Teenage Love and Hard Knocks and Zed and the Luncheons, and his son Benny the Blade, who is a guitar virtuoso. Wait till you see this little motherfucker play. And then, I'm sorry, but that's going to be followed up by a set by the Luncheons. Yes, I'll get up here in a tie. I won't even be drunk. I'll just be on a lot of tea. Okay, so we're doing that, and then way off in the future, on November 28th, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we're gonna do Freaksgiving again with the Knox Villains and the Perkles. Oh, okay, I haven't asked the Perkles yet, but we had talked about it. And they were, he was a little buzzed, but he said, shit, yeah, let's do that again. So I'd say so. And last but not least, The next Romper room will be on the, we're still doing this stuff on the 3rd of, Sunday, today's Sunday, of the month, and it's going to be the 20th of September. And I'll be mentally impaired because of teaching classes. Okay? So, it'll be interesting at the very least.
Don't blame it on education.
I'm blaming it on a lack of education, Jerry. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so, a lot of people are reading. Anybody else want to sign up? Everybody sign up that want to read? Okay, good. All right. I'm going to start us off today by sharing a few of my shitty old poems. I wrote one new one for last month. This one I found the handwritten note to for a second. I thought it was on the parchment paper that we would do. It was just shitty cheap paper we'd keep next to the grill at McDonald's. I wrote a whole lot of poems on those. They really pissed off teenage poems from when I was a grill cook there with my friend Wayne. But no, this is on regular notebook paper. Obviously from my drinking days. Let's get comfortable and let's get the fucking glasses out. There they are. This adorable little poem is called, it's a shorty, pay attention. It's called Hangover. Hangover monsters are licking my brains out, pulling my guts out to see what's there. My thoughts explode like a swollen dead puppy that is thrown against a wall I put up myself. This one is from my book from 1987 called The Wizard of Scum. And this is appropriate other than, the poem was called Thursday, Middle of Summer, and it's Sunday, but it's still middle of fucking summer. It's gonna be 95 today, or so. We are drunk, looking out, bored of nothing new, repeated recitations of what we are cut the air again and again. Big high goals, big high ideals. Mythology lubricates some dry brains, gives them a little zeal for the kill, a little hate for the hunt. And there we are drunk, looking out, bored of everything we see, not knowing when the process starts again. Same dead images propped up on sticks like we can't smell dead ideas. Don't bore me unless I can drown my senses. Okay. Some of these is like, oh yeah, that'll be a fun one to read, and they're like, no. Not in front of people, not in front of nice people. Waste case. I'm ashamed to be human sometimes, groveling around like you can't stand up. You can't stand up. You're too busy fearing God. America, first grade teacher, Mr. Taxation Authoritarian. Tell me what to do, please. Tribal identification first and always. Neither Hitler nor Christ ever died at all. They've just been mixed together to work more effectively. I believe in having another drink and pretending I don't know. Okay. Black, white. It's raining. Oh, this is also from the Wizard of Scum. It's raining so hard on you and it's cold, you couldn't get any worse off, soaked and miserable. So you just walk on in to see what's across a red door. Well, there's nothing in there. They don't even have bugs, so you know you're not home. And all the walls are too white, so you just drip, drip. Drip on tiles, black and bright. Drip, drip and bleed and shed at patience and faith. You've seen too many black and white rooms, lives, situations too many times. Okay, not that one. Okay. I said that we're going to do a thing called the Lungeons in a couple of weeks. Here's a couple of lyrics from that thing. This actually started out as a poem, and then the guys, Brad and Dear Bill Irwin, wrote a tune, and it was like, oh fuck, this poem fits that tune. So But then later on, we recorded this on the Melungeons album, and it was so good. To us, we were high. But then when Evil Twin finally got off our crazy asses and made an album, we recorded this song as an Evil Twin song as well. And I will add that my dear friend Saba, who recorded the Evil Twin album, said that was my best performance with him. I'm like, God damn, okay. Growl to the general direction. Feel the sick click of tooth on bone. Sing sad songs to the empty air because there's nothing left to do in the dark. I growl at my shadow and mean it. I feel the click, click, click of your hate. Scream mad songs at the vicious air because there's nothing left to do in the dark. Nothing left to do in the dark but growl at it. Melungeons do one religious tune, and it's called Living Right. Living Right.
Oh, Jesus.
Another round of strychnine. Let's get out the snakes. I'm here to cure your darkness no matter what it takes. The cleansing fires of hell could be your predetermined fate. Get out your pretty pennies. I'm passing around the plate. If you're living right, you won't be tight. If you're living right, the snake won't bite. Another round of strychnine. Let's get to the snakes. Which are true believers, Lord, or any of them fakes? The gospel I'm preaching, the only words you need to learn. Let's get to the message. I'd hate to see you burn. Woo! All right. Oh, you right here. Okay, this one was, I wrote this last month, and it's watching on the internet. I don't watch news on TV anymore. Ew, Jesus Christ, the corporate.
Me either.
Did I say that right? Okay. Anyway, fuck TV news. But anyway, I was watching on the internet, and people were like, people are calling everybody commies again. I'm like, fuck, what the fuck is it, 1954 again? I heard it. Don't know what that is? Okay. Anyway, at long last. Commie, yell the fascists, criminals, rapists, good white Christian molesters of children, of decency, of truth. Any random cat has more empathy, judgment, and taste. I know, I asked. The little tuxedo cat, deceptively named Monkey, said calmly and certainly, around me, those bitches would die in their sleep. In their fucking sleep. Woo! Okay.
Watch yourself around.
Be careful there. Okay, here's another nice one from, from when I lived in Fort Sanders in the 80s. And it's about these weirdos I hung out with. It's called Every Long-Winded Drunk. I was one. I still like, when Iggy Pop quit smoking weed, and I'm like, I didn't, no. Anyway, he said he did. And they said, well, Iggy, can you still, you don't get stoned anymore. And he said, no, I still think stoned. I still think drunk. I did not put down the weed though. I don't smoke it. I just take it. Every long-winded drunk that I see and believe is even worse off. Hey, little baby, you want to play life until it makes you throw up? On up in that cute little imagination, my infatuation with what made those rats smarter than me. Sip alcohol. Every long-winded drunk spitting in your face, stumbling into your dumb religion. Doesn't that make your superstition look more wholesome, comfortable, and dull? It does, and it does severely during your pointless ego gratification techniques you keep on saying and praying, braying. Every long-winded drunk is going to try to suck every ounce of life right out of your skull right around closing time, every time. You got the time, every time you wonder where it went, what it felt like when you gave up. You give up. Every long-winded drunk is going to give up on you when you don't have what it takes to entertain a jaded brain. You don't have what it takes. Like any long-winded drunk will gladly tell you. Okay. that one. And of course, since Whitney's here for the first time, I gotta read my hit. There it is. Okay. And there. All right. We'll call those good. Okay. This one, maybe not that one. Yeah, that's three. Okay. All right. I wrote this one at, when we were having a poetry reading at Griffin's in the 90s. Leroy Smith hosted that, and then after he quit, I started a little thing at Griffin's that I called Russ's Romper Room. And it was probably about the first time I ever got heckled reading poetry, but Griffin's, those of you who remember Griffin's remember it was a special, special place. This is called The Room with a Brew. On stage, I take my beer bath between screams and slap this stringy, slinky mop out of my face to stare back at the freaks when I notice some poor blistered son of a bitch hanging on my words. Hanging. Room with a brew, looking out over a shitstorm. At home, I'm spilling various drinks all over myself and anyone else who'll listen. I sit down long enough to notice how ridiculously dizzy I am, and I just can't seem to shut up, to stop boring all the other drunks. Boring. For room with a brew, looking out and laughing like death. Outside at the next party, brew and paw, I quietly look around in drunken concern and get all maudlin and stupid about my stringy, slinky neighborhood home. In regard the cold, thoughtless sidewalk. All right. Okay. And two more, and let some actual writers get up here. All right. This one I wrote. Just about the fucking situation going on in the goddamn world. And I thought, y'all know the story of Batman. I mean, there's like this rich dude that has a secret identity and goes out and fights against bad people. Wouldn't that be cool? Turns out they're the fucking opposite. This is called Where's Batman? Comic book villains that could be some dumb, dark comedy if not for the, collateral cost lost to the insatiable greed of fucking Batman villains. Batman villains. Each one weirder, crazier, scarier, stupider than the last. I'm past it, fuck it. Our age is comic book criminals, too dumb to be real, too real to be funny anymore. Do we have to do this again? Comic book villains that could be some dumb, dark comedy if not for the, collateral cost lost to the insatiable greed of fucking Batman villains. Batman villains. When I can choke off my sardonic cackle, my sarcastic schadenfreude stumbles, I'll aspire to kill this goddamn bottle, sip by sip, and ask, where's Batman? Where the fuck is Batman? Woo! And this is one of my favorites. Wrote this back in the 90s, I think, and me and my friend Paul Wise recorded this, and he liked to play it for people on the internet because they didn't know it was about a dog. Oh shit, I just ruined it. Okay. Okay. Roommate. The first sound to register as consciousness overtakes me this afternoon is the lap, lap, lap of my roommate, licking spilled beer from the floor. When my eyes open, they are met by her eyes. They look shy, almost embarrassed, but she continues to lick at the beer puddled there on the hardwood floor. She is a good roommate. She sheds a lot and whines sometimes. She shows a little too much interest in the crotches of our guests. But when I pass out and spill beer on the floor, she'll lick it up so I don't have to. And she never calls me a son of a bitch like that last roommate did. Woo! Thank you. Y'all are very, very kind. And now, please welcome up here, Chris Martin. Woo!
So in the epic comic universe, there's two beings, humans and shadows, and they say that shadows is where vampires and werewolves come from, right? So something has to be spooky here. So that's where Harper. All right. Legions burrow beneath all shadows, where dead silence streams, where whimpers to splintered echoes can't escape the broadest of dreams, tearing away at the pretty skin, finding glory in stain after stain, in endless hollow, a deliciously lucid madness. Shadows lap slowly this flow of pain, lapping slowly this flow of welcome pain, drowning in glorious agony, dragging fangs on cold chains, in a maelstrom of mayhem and madness. Shadows lap slowly this flow of pain. Crimson rivers erode such tasty decay, twisting the purest thoughts so easily led astray, bound by a compulsive hunger that will never wane. In dead silence, shadows lap this slow flow of pain. Underneath blackened skies, scream for mercy, bring no replies. Only tears of torment will bring the cheers of Cain. Shadows bleed, we breathe, forever lapping this flow of pain. Lapping slowly this flow of pain, drowning in glorious agony, dragging fangs on meaty chains. In maelstrom of mayhem and madness, shadows lap slowly flow of pain. This cold embrace will never fade, we're bound to this void, welcoming all shadows to invade, forever lost in this storm's cruelest rain, lapping slowly a flow of pain. Void regions. Beyond the rust of dying stars they'll reign, neo-fuelless lords in the pursuit of accruing domain. Their castles will drift where cold black shadows shall bloom, taxing light itself through the orbital gloom. Astral overlords fencing the void with contracts forged in horrific code, and crown themselves celestial technocrats where their comets hit their strode, while far below on worlds of dust and dire need, the serfs will pay their algorithmic tyrants in breath, blood, and better with fucking speed. And lastly, I'm gonna read this since you're here. This is called ocular pat down.
Nice.
Now listen here, peasants. He wasn't asleep despite the proof. His chin has just simply lost its roof. Those heavy lids, it's a tactical scan. It's all just part of an elite security plan. While others thought he drifted away, it was all conducting surveillance, they'll say, an ocular pat down that's calm and deep, which somehow looked exactly like sleep. The snore was just a status report, a coded signal of a somewhat special sort. And the sounds as he drills upon his shirt, it's all classified sport, so don't be a flirt. So if you catch him with his eyes shut tight, hey, don't assume he's called it a night. He's guarding that room, protecting the town, and just performing an ocular pat down.
Great work, y'all. Hell yes. Kaiser Cooper, y'all. Come on. Walk it, mister.
Again, I have nothing. But like Wayne, I'll have something new next month. I promise.
Your love, so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Yeah, as soon as I get done with my nervous breakdown, it's been going on for like 7 months.
Oh, I'm nervous right now.
Broke my glasses, but now they're appropriate.
Oh, they're pretty.
So, yeah, I don't have anything. I have notes to rant to. So, yeah. Well, the election's over.
What?
Yeah, the election's over. Yeah, see.
How'd you do?
Uh,
I'm sorry.
It's not over till November.
too soon.
You did damn good for a Democrat in that part of the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
fucking balls, dude.
Well, I've got, now I've had a week to reflect, and when I started this, I never understood why people constantly would come up to you and thank you for running, and had such gratitude, and thank you for serving and running, and I'd be like, okay, I get it, yeah, running for office. 7 months later, this was the second hardest thing I've ever had to do. And the first one's nobody's fucking business, but there's something liberating about running a race in a place where you historically have no shot. but there's so much effort and thought that goes into it, and it's hard and it's draining when you lose, even when you know you're going to. But even the night before, I believed, I had done everything. I had done the speeches, I had knocked on doors. My opponent did absolutely nothing. Not even so much as to post up on Facebook. I know why now. I really wanted 30%.
So close.
Which sounds terrible, but that would have made me the best non-Republican in District 7 in 36 years. I got 29.2%. And I did get the most votes of any non-Republican in 24 years. So there's that. But when early voting had started and I was going out to farmers markets and talking to people, then you're running into people who have voted, and they're like, "Oh, I really like you and stuff, but I've already voted, and I voted all Republican." And I would go, "Well, what did you like about Barry Bueller?" And this happened multiple times, and they go, "Who?" I don't think that's that fucking funny, but
It's sad.
the apathy of the voters is not hilarious.
Sad black comedy.
And I don't know if Larry Flint said this, but it was in the movie. Why should I take a bullet to defend your freedom? Why should I go out there door to door and think about the issues and give speeches if you're not even going to give a shit to find out who you're voting for?
Damn it.
So I called Jacobs, Mayor Jacobs, and I asked him, can I find 3,900 more votes? And like 8,000 for my friend Steven. Let's see what we can do.
He goes, what's a number?
What's a number? So yeah, that's a little disheartening. It really is. People are just not paying attention. And I'm not saying I'm the better candidate,
You are.
but I am.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to rerun the election. So there you have it. It was an unclimbable hill and a battle to the desperately content to be ignorant. So at the end of the day, was it worth it? It's so hard and mentally exhausting, and that's not the beer shaking. It is, man. It's something else. I missed the summer of taking my daughter places.
Man.
I didn't quite finish my book. I had to pause production on my film, turn down a lot of acting work. Well, again, was it worth it? Well, meeting people over my district was rewarding, making new friends with other candidates, and surprising a lot of Republicans who were looking for an alternative to MAGA. Finding out for sure what I've always known is that we have more in common than we have that separates us when we actually talk. The differences are so small.
Yeah.
My daughter. Listening to her talk about things and pick up on things and talk about running and her curiosity at 6 and her was amazing. Every time she saw Bo Hawk, she wanted to interview him. I don't know if Bo's much of a kid person, but he'd be like, "Oh, here she comes. She's got questions."
Hell yeah.
But now she looks up to me, I think, in a different respect, which it's hard to earn the respect of a 6-year-old, I'll tell you. I'm no longer just the backup parent, the bad cop that's overprotective. So there's that. And my wife, it's worth it if you just see the nice post that she made for me after the election. I have it pinned at the top of my Facebook in case you missed it. But after 23 years of marriage, it's rekindled some things, more things than one. and the first hardest thing it's helped get past that. So highlights: making new friends, other candidates, most of them which I totally do not understand me. but that's understandable in the elegant words of Sarah Baker. Kaiser, you're a lot. And that's fair. That's fair. I'm an acquired taste. I figure I'm going to have to run about 10 more times to get elected. Doing the Tennessee Brando show, that was a bucket list thing.
That's good. That's really
Yeah,
good.
we're now friends, and he wants me back on the show regular. Thank you for that, Wayne.
Kick ass.
He's really cool. I learned about myself. I learned maybe I care more than I let on. Maybe I care less about things that don't matter. You know, it puts things into perspective. You know, you would think being a father for the first time would do that, but it does. That does that. But this puts it in a whole new ballgame. So I'm definitely a stronger person. Oh yeah, overall it was positive. And I keep getting asked if I'm going to run again. Apparently 29% in District 7 is a big win.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe if I get people to vote for something besides a letter, you know, I've collected my signs and I'm sitting them in the garage for 2 years. And,
Nice.
This is the last I'm going to speak of this.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting back to talking about like what Jerry actually. I can't believe he said this right in front of Mr. Hawk. You're going to talk about your father's penis? You need to look back at that piece because that is a very small part of that whole thing. Okay?
But it stands out, Kaiser.
I know that whole thing was about hiding my penis from my daughter. Anyway.
All right.
Leave it to the governor.
So I started thinking about things in my life that I've accomplished or tried to, and all of them to different degrees. I'm very proud of what I've done, and or at least things I've tried. You know, I tried this. I never became a big rock star, but that turned out to be quite a blessing. I'm not a big actor, but it's like when anything else is the art. It's I wouldn't call my acting art, but it's fulfilling. It's fulfilling.
I know it counts.
You know, and I've got other ventures going on now. With the film is 60% shot.
Woo!
The book is 90% done. It's basically just being edited. So
Go, Kaiser.
I have a great family, so I'm full. So we'll see how I feel at that point. But there's still a little bit depth. When it was over, I wanted to win. You know, I wanted to make my grandfather proud. So many things in my life, when it's over, the result, sometimes ended up being for the better, whether you win or you lose. You know, but it still feels like failure. Then something remarkable happened that made me feel a little better and kind of uplifted me. I saw the documentary Corey Feldman versus the World. And when I wasn't totally freaked out what a creep he was, and wasn't yelling at the TV, "You're a fucking moron." His second half of his career has been nothing but indulgent egomaniac, and everybody should watch that documentary. I mean, he makes Marilyn Manson seem like a choir boy, and you know I defend him. You know, he hasn't tried to help anyone but himself. That documentary was just totally disgusting. I don't know how he thought it made him look good. But you know what? No one in that film came up to Corey and said, "Thank you for running and for your service."
Nice, Kaiser. Nice. Let's hear it for Kaiser Cooper. Okay. Is Kat ready? Okay. It's your turn. Okay. Hank Sacco. It's your first time as well. We're up here. Yeah, just that hard. There you go.
This is called A Nice Man Grows. Every man I've ever loved has taken something from me. They leave behind these little holes like weeds pulled from a garden. They were all so nice. Nice men come and settle in, grow roots and dig in deeper. A nice man's roots don't show their vigor. They grow straight down and then they wander. Thick, choking. Above the ground, nice men stay meek, eager, helpful. I try to pull them up before they can take over. I mend the soil they've leached unbound. I wait to grow another. A queer wind always blows again and always carries with it the seeds from which these nice men grow to fall around my garden. They hope to hide among the flowers I'm growing in my garden. Afraid of what they might become without someone to guard them. They promise me they'll add, not take, to bring more to my garden. I do love growing. Together, please. I'm a shower, you'll see. Just imagine together what your garden could be. I let their roots grow down into the dirt where nice men grow so well. They find the pockets left for air from others long composted. His roots go deeper, deeper, deeper. This hole is through my chest. It's out the back, dirt spilling out. There's no room left for flowers. He stands tall, proud. Don't you complain? You did so well. We grew myself together. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it. I'll put up scaffolds, rebar, backfill, reinforce. I will wait to grow another. No, I will no longer fill myself with dirt that nice men grow from. I'll fill myself with everything but dirt that nice men grow from. I'll bring in rocks, logs, bricks. I'll work. I will build my garden. Maybe one day I'll look around my garden, thriving, full, to see a nice guy sprouting. Maybe this time I won't just go and weed him from my garden. I'll take him home to live with me, a plant inside my window. He'll gaze upon my garden, now a forest filled with trees, scaffolds gone, their roots so deep, they now protect my garden. Maybe one day, much, much, much later, he'll be able to behave. Pruned, shaped, trained, he will be ready for my garden. We'll pick a spot for him together to grow out in my garden, a nice raised bed I built for him with concrete on the bottom.
Cat Sago. Let's hear it. Come on. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Excellent, excellent. Very cool, very cool. All right, y'all. Wade Bledsoe, come on.
I realized I was putting together all these fortune cookie poems.
Yes.
I realized I had 41 of them. Wow. And next month I'm vowing to write 9 more so that I'll have an actual 50. So here's the second batch that I wrote. There's 6 additional poems by Wayne Bledsoe and Panda Express. Number 1, you have a magnetic personality. You attract malcontents, the socially awkward, aspiring criminals, and malicious weirdos. Good job. Number 2, address the elephant in the room. His name is Norman, and he just ruined your recliner. Do you hear trumpets? Number 3, you will travel far and wide and touch lives along the way, which completely violates the terms of your parole. 4,
Courage will guide your future, but cowardice will save your life. You are a marshmallow human. Stay away from fire. Number 5. A change of scenery is just what you need, or maybe what we need. Show yourself to the door. And number 6, your difficult path will be rewarding, for others at least, who will have to pay to get you out of another predicament. And I have a project where I'm trying to co-write songs with songwriters that I admire. And my friend Mike Craver, who is one of the best songwriters you've probably never heard, I gave this to him, and hopefully he will add to it, and hopefully we'll eventually have a song together.
Nice.
When we talked about it, he said, "Why don't we write a song about Trump's head on a spike?" And I couldn't quite get there, so this is what I wrote. This is called "The World is Upside Down." Benito and his mistress didn't really need the gasoline. They were just looking to catch a train, hoping to not be seen. But hung from their heels from that SO sign, it all became quite clear how quickly things can change, how they came to end up here. The world is upside down, the world is upside down. Thought you were its ringmaster, but you were always just a clown. The world is upside down. Nicolea and Alina had their backs against the wall, never admitted to a crime, never took the blame at all. But luxury needs poverty to fuel its ugly need. Sometimes a bullet from a rifle is the antidote for greed. The world is upside down, the world is upside down. Thought you were its ringmaster, you were always just a clown. The world is upside down. You can charm the dim and stupid, put your face on every dime, but it all turns around in the end, and you pay for every crime. You can reach the very top, but still be lower to the ground. All the things you try to bury will eventually be found. The world is upside down. And last month we all read around the table since the soccer game was going on. But my friend Russell Upson Dinner does a column, The Angry Gardener. And of course it shows up on my webpage. But this is a brand new Angry Gardener. This is about corn. Under normal circumstances, I write about invasive species using the colorful vernacular of my people. People with foul mouths and little self-control. However, for this edition of The Angry Gardener, I would like to celebrate the glories of a plant that has benefited from modern hybridization. That plant is corn. The proper name for corn is actually maize. When you read old texts, including the Bible, it mentions corn. It's actually something else, like maybe barley, which is why there was no corn on the cob at the Last Supper. These days, only nerds and foreigners call corn maize, so I'm just going to fucking continue to call it corn. Corn is actually a grass that is closely related to rice, wheat, and sorghum, and only distantly related to that shit your neighbor grows in his yard that he's so picky about that he sprays it with poison to kill anything else that might think it has a right to grow there. Corn was first cultivated about 9,000 years ago by the native people of southern Mexico, which is about as long as we've had any documentation of human civilization. A few thousand years later, it was being grown in what is now New Mexico and Arizona, and then it spread across the continent. Then when Columbus got lost and found the New World, he ended up taking some corn kernels back to Europe. Columbus was too stupid to ask how the seed should be planted before he left, and his corn plants all died without actually producing anything. Had my Granny Lucille been there, she would have told him to plant them after the first new moon, after the last frost, and once they're sprouted, plant some pole beans and squash beside them, you stupid, no-good, slave-trading bastard.
And 3 sisters.
I followed this planting advice for years until the squirrel population in my neighborhood increased and they stripped every ear of my meticulously cultivated peaches and cream corn while leaving the stalks undisturbed. Fuck squirrels, which are basically rats with furry tails. Had they done that to Granny Lucille's garden, she would have shot a few of them with her .22 pistol and left their rotting carcasses for future thieves to contemplate if they consider doing it again. Ask the crows about it, you rat-faced furry little motherfucker. Regardless of Columbus's failure, other explorers were smart enough to ask how to cultivate it, and gardeners around Europe began growing it with abandon. Interestingly enough, the Catholic Church decided to weigh in on it and decided that its flour could not be used for communion wafers because, unlike wheat, corn flour could not be transformed into the body of Christ. Those of us who love corn already knew that it could not transform into the body of Christ, but it can transform your flesh into the body of Bubba. This is the point where I must differentiate between sweet corn and field corn. Sweet corn resulted from occasional mutations which produced corn with a higher sugar content. When the Mexicans got a taste of that, they said, screw this starchy shit, let's save some of these kernels to plant next year, and then in a few thousand years we can watch Taco Bell give the European invaders diarrhea. Sweet corn is generally eaten fresh, and modern hybridization really took off in the 1800s. Since then, sweeter and more delicious varieties have been regularly introduced, including the SH2 types that are so sweet that you can eat them right off the stalk. Hang on, I need a drink.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
God damn it.
The starchier field corn is dried and sometimes ground into meal or flour. The Mexicans continued to plant it for that. In more modern times, it's been turned into animal feed, corn oil, high fructose corn syrup, which is in every damn food produced in the United States, and as if we weren't fat enough, and is even an ingredient in some plastics. My family members here in Tennessee used to make it into a liquid that could both make white people think they can dance and light fireworks, as well as fuel your car engine. Incidentally, nobody should have gone to jail for that.
Damn it.
Nutritionally, corn is not exactly a powerhouse, but in making field corn more palatable, Native Americans figured something out. If they soaked field corn in lye that they derived from wood ash or lime water, the corn's kernel husks would come off, and that chemical process also made it possible for their bodies to absorb vitamin B3, which is also known as niacin. That is present in corn but cannot be absorbed without that extra step. In this state, corn becomes hominy. Because of this, Native Americans did not get pellagra, a sometimes fatal condition that develops from a lack of niacin. I do not get pellagra because I eat grits, which is the result of grinding dried hominy corn kernels into a rough meal and then boiling it until it's soft and gloppy. While many people hate grits and refuse to eat them, I happen to love them. When combined with cheese, butter, and in the best case scenario, pieces of bacon, grits are wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Do not think, though, that I am not sometimes taken aback by the fact that humans are the only animals that will eat them. Put a nice bowl of grits in front of your dog, and the dog will look up at you with an expression that says, you know I lick my own ass, but I ain't eating this. Moments later, the dog will devour a cat turd just to prove a point. Go ahead, get pellagra, you cat turd eating turd. I don't care. Of course, like anything good in the world, there are assholes who want to fuck corn up. Farmers have long been using the bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis, commonly known as BT, to control European corn borers and other pests that damage corn. BT does not have any adverse effects on people, but it's hell on pests in their larval stages. By the 1990s, the agricultural giant corporation Monsanto decided that that was just not good enough. They wanted the corn to produce BT on its own. Not only that, but they thought it would be great to genetically modify their corn to survive the poison glyphosate, sold as Roundup, and other herbicides. so that they could spray the cornfields with potentially cancer-causing chemicals with abandon so that a little ragweed or dandelion would not take up soil nutrients or space that would hinder their new frankencorn. While this genetically altered corn has not been proven to have any health risks to humans, we really don't know what long-term effects it might have, nor do we know the long-term effects of having all that poison shit constantly sprayed on something that we want to eat. All I can tell you is, if my Granny Lucille was still alive, somebody's no good ass would be in danger of being kicked. Enjoy your corn while you can. Yours in Christ, Russell Upson Dale.
Wayne Bledsoe, yeah. Sarah Baker, y'all. Come on.
So if you've been coming to this and you've heard me before, you know I'm working on a bunch of poems about other mothers, like being remothered by women who inspire me and teach me what I wish my mom had. And I've written about Frida Kahlo and Dolly Parton and Patti Smith and people like that, but I've got some new ones today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Mary Oliver in my spare room. Mary Oliver moseys into my spare room amid stacks of journals, colored pencils, gesso, my stickered laptop glowing. She drops her fleece-lined jacket over my Peloton. She brings no shadow from the grave and smells like pine needles, cold river water, and Marlboro. The feral cousin of a coastal grandmother. She sits at the corner of my desk and brushes a crumb off the collar of my white cotton nightgown. "You have toast in your hair again," she says, and flicks it away with a grin. "I love that about you, how you eat too fast with your mane over the bowl. Such a wild, unruly appetite for life. Solving puzzles that aren't yours to solve. You adopt the spider in the window, give her a name. You jump over a fat bumblebee, but apologize for making noise. Don't apologize." Then she gently but unabashedly reaches over and shuts my laptop. "Turn away from the endless scroll," she says. "Go stomp around the laurel until the trees quiet your head. And tomorrow morning, don't touch a mug or a mobile until you've sat on your steps and let the morning light wake you up. Then let the French roast warm your throat. Do not subdue your appetites. Drink your coffee, enjoy your toast with butter and strawberry preserves, taste the pleasure of being alive, and listen to me. You do not have to be calm. You are allowed to be madly in love with spiders and coffee and the man who appreciates Voltaire and the curve of your ass in equal measure. Hold on to those who let you burn, who bring air and kindling to your pit of fire. Keep the others in the shade." She stands up, recovers her weathered pullover, whispering her exit like notebook paper tearing a clean seam. "Don't fret about running out of years," she breathes back. "Dying is just going home. Be afraid of sitting in this room trying to save the universe, arguing with bots, and missing out on the wild, sacred magic of being you and your only holy life. Now take that dog and get your ass outside." Barbara Kingsolver in my side yard. I'm stealing blackberries from the cheek-by jowl house next door when Barbara Kingsolver comes along beside me. My city neighborhood has old houses with high ceilings and deep porches flying rainbow flags. We coexist with trees older than I am. But nobody knocks with extra soup beans or dumplings. Nobody passes along what they heard crackling on the police scanner. Nobody asks me where I learned to make something from almost nothing. But Barbara comes along and I'm back in the hills. She doesn't mind thorns, knows to look underneath where the biggest berries hide. She eats one from the branch and tells me to keep picking. She tells me to eat more of what grows here. Poke greens in spring, tomatoes warm from the garden, blackberries in summer, apples and figs when the trees are ready to let go. Take what earth gives you before you go looking somewhere else. She knows what I was taught to apologize for. The accent, the dirt under my nails, the Addlehead family, the yard sale wardrobe, cardboard in my shoes. She knows how quickly I call myself poor when I mean resourceful, backwards when I mean unaffected, unsophisticated when I mean unfiltered. She walks beside me through the briars, her hands scratched, her fingers turning purple. She doesn't tell me to return to the holler. She knows I love my city house, the French doors, the pillows on my porch swing. She knows the road to my door and all I restored to enter it. She knows I brought the hills with me. She only says, don't mistake leaving for becoming better. You were never waiting to become someone. You were waiting to recognize yourself. Then she reaches for another berry, and I reach with her. Carrie Fisher at my front door. Carrie Fisher's brown eyes know too much when she knocks on my door. She steps inside like a princess who knows there is always a way out, even when the walls are closing in. Chicks like her always know where the secret passages are. She finds the chair where I sit when I'm tired of carrying things I never learned to put down. She looks around at the rooms that hold my history, the things I saved, the things I couldn't throw away, the parts of me that came back from the empires of men. She notices the places I wiped down quickly, the dog hair swept away, the desperate ritual of hiding chaos for hospitality's sake. She laughs at me, but not cruelly. The kind of laugh that says, look at all this effort we've wasted pretending we don't live here. We don't hurt, we don't need, we don't bleed, right here. She isn't much for advice, only stories. The kind with rhinestone ashtrays, lost hotel keys, a few questionable decisions. She tells me perfection is an armor bikini someone else designed for me, a costume I was never meant to shrink myself to fit. We talk about the cruel and holy math of motherhood, how the same hands that hold you and rock you can leave bruises, how a woman does not become whole because she stops breaking, how sometimes the bravest thing is walking into a room with all of your shards exposed. She tells me, turn your wounds into material, not because they are funny, but because they are yours. Take the thing that most embarrasses you and make it ask permission to hurt you. Humor is not an escape, it is a flashlight, the thing you carry into the darkest rooms and hold up high for everyone to see. Surviving is not becoming untouchable. It is opening the door, letting the mess be seen, and laughing with the ones who know exactly where the cracks are, and letting them love you right there.
Excellent stuff, as always.
What am I doing to
it's nice.
It is just not playing nice. Play nice.
It's a dysfunctional
Let's try
mind.
that.
Okay. In the spirit of what I learned from Carrie Fisher, this poem is about my real mom. And it's the most personal thing I've read. So, elsewhere. Mama is beautiful in the morning. Her eyes blacker than brown, black as embers under ash. Watching me from beneath a crooked turban, necessary for the hair, she yanks out herself, strand by strand. Her skin is soft and dusky, her homemade dress sweet as a child's. Little flowers, crooked seams, stitches sewn too far apart. She looks like she traveled from an old country where women read poems, but she doesn't need poems. She says a little bird tells her, but I always suspect the moon. She sings while I get ready for school, a hymn or something from a 45. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, or parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Her voice was safe enough to invite my shoulder. We dance. She kisses my head. She laughs. We delight in each other. While I disappear on the school bus, smoke hangs from the yellow ceiling. Ants cross the counter. Roaches disappear between musty magazines and under crusty dishes. And she disappears into an elsewhere of her imagination, sometimes harbored, sometimes hunted, always beyond reach. There are records stacked beside partially painted canvases, books upon books upon books, Frost, Sartre, Steinbeck, autographed with the smears of vermin. Art blooming in rooms grimy with neglect. By my return that afternoon, the sweetness has gone elsewhere too. I don't always know what I've done when she reaches for the switch. Maybe something selfish, something flighty, a little girl's transgression. A sudden stripe of fire, again, again, again. The house goes still. I find my own elsewhere for a while. Then that evening, her hands tender again, her playful voice again, a pop tune rising through cigarette smoke, her warm shoulder against mine, as if nothing in the world has ever been broken, as if my body could ever forget the hissing sting of the switch.
See now, you come here every damn month on the third Sunday, and you will be rewarded with new poetry by Sarah Baker. That's fantastic. Oh hell!
She pulls the heartstrings.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Crying every year.
Hell yes. Hell yeah. Okay then. That was fucking nice, wasn't it?
Yes.
And now, motherfuckers, Zach Fallon.
Now for something completely different. All right. I'm gonna do 3 pieces today. Progressively more honest. This first one is an essay that I wrote this morning because fuck it. The next one is some lyrics to a song that me and my hot wife have been working on making into a real thing. And then a rewrite of a song that you know. So, here the fuck it goes. I remember when the future sounded exciting. I remember when it was all jetpacks and robot butlers. We weren't that far off, but it's a big fall to the reality of Ubers and TaskRabbits that we've been dealt. It makes me wonder what the hell the next generation has to look forward to. Luckily, Zach Fallon is here to fill in for all of your projection gaps. You just watch your favorite artist do the Hot Ones gauntlet? Enjoy the fiery diarrhea without even tasting the chicken. We've managed to digitize that part. Want to check out your favorite artist's new gallery show? Check out this mounted GoPro view to let you see exactly what some other rando sees. Close enough? I hate this idea. I reject it outright. Not because it's popular and not because it's easy, but because I'm trying to make a point. I'm about real art, and I'm about people experiencing that art. And not all art needs to be engaged with. It's my dinner with Andre, not our dinner with Andre. Hashtag hot girl summer is a powerful sentiment until I get involved. Some experiences, you just can't involve everybody. I'm not invited to hot girl summer, and that's appropriate. So let me paint a brief picture of a future we can all be excited by. You like a band? Well, here's all the bands that led to that band existing. You love a movie? Well, here's all the movies that needed to happen first. The unfortunate truth might be that the only advantage we figured out is the accurate connection to our past. We spent so much time on realizing the next big thing, but it always seems to point at the last big thing that we missed. That's all right with me. I just want to make sure every wannabe comedian has already studied the Smothers Brothers and Martin Mull. The future features 0 female songwriters who haven't heard and absorbed Judy Sill's entire catalog. In the future, there's no need for some wooded background frame songwriter because he realizes that Ernie Ford already said and did that shit with nuance he can barely understand Oliver Anthony. I'm building an AI model that lets 99% of white men realize they've already been outdone. An AI model that reminds women that raspy female voices came way before their time. An AI model that reminds every TV creator that their idea has already been tried and failed 100 times. The future absolutely includes AI, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. In the future, we're spared 1,000 shitty Janis Joplin ripoffs. We're spared 100 different variants on transition and structure because these kids all know about Cohen and Waits by default. The first step in writing the future is knowing what came before. This generation, more than any in history, has no excuse to not know about its predecessors. They'll get there, even if they use a couple chatbots. That's just the new way of learning. Angine de Poitrine and Aurora have already proven they're still green grass. New ideas aren't harder to find, they're just harder to prove new. The AI revolution might legitimately be the kick in the pants we all needed to get our first new genre since dubstep. That's the future I'm inspired by. Not rehashing but a complete reimagination by some young person who knows but rebels all the same. AI could just mean our most informed songwriters, and that's where my hope, money, and optimism is all camped. Maybe that's over-optimistic. Maybe I'll ask ChatGPT. All right. Here's the song lyrics that I wrote, and this is from the point of view of a Elon Musk type.
You got some cup?
Yep. Ditto.
Perfect.
So, these are some lyrics to a song, and hopefully the song becomes real one day. I'm gonna build a data center in my backyard. I'm gonna put a 5G tower on top. I'm gonna have a little book exchange out front where you can find the things the library won't stock. I'm gonna make a tiny Roomba that can live inside your mouth. It'll brush and floss your teeth. There'll be a little sensor that'll tell me what you had for dinner and all your thoughts about me. Is that okay? It would really help my bottom line. What do you say? We can really help mankind. Gonna build a website that eats up all the cookies that are stored on your PC. Then I'll ring a bell outside the door and ask for your help in the war and fighting software obesity. I'm gonna give you injections to control your weight and gift you a Big Mac just for trying. It'll run ads on the treadmill that you keep behind your bed still, so your shirt can finish drying. I'm gonna put a little chip inside your chips. It'll update the Roomba in your mouth. It'll send figures to the dentist who's going out of business now that your hygiene's figured out. I'm gonna sell your history on the dark web. I'm gonna tell your family where to find it. I'm gonna steal PlayStation 3s from underneath your Christmas trees so I can go Bitcoin mining. All right, I got this one more. This is a rewrite of a song that you probably know. If you're happy and you know it. So, yeah. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're unhappy and you know it, please abstain. If you're happy and you know it and you want to brag about it in front of potentially unhappy people, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you've not self-analyzed to a point of confidence, also stomp your feet. If you're happy to go for it, but you've not processed it to a point where you're comfortable declaring you're happy, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. If you're unhappy but want to project happiness, shout hooray. This was a really loaded proposition from the very beginning. But if you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Everyone else, judge those people for showing off like fucking assholes. This sounded like a fun participatory exercise, but it was really just a method to ostracize the people who claim to be doing better than the rest of us. Nobody was happy, especially after I started barking fucking orders. These are shitty people trying to make you feel bad for just getting by. Don't fucking let them. So stomp your feet, clap your hands, shout hooray, and know that no one is going to judge you for your feelings.
Yay, Zach Powell, y'all. Hell yes. All right. Anybody else want to sign up? Okay. Last, but certainly not least, the star of the motherfucking show, the governor, Jay Brown.
What's the deal with Kaiser's dad's penis?
Oh, no.
Now that that's out of the way, recently, an old friend of mine visited town, and got to reconnect with him after 30-something years.
Cool.
And this person would be Mr. Jason Newstead.
Oh, yeah.
He played the open chords, and then a few days later, he played 2 nights at the Ryman, opening up for Blackberry Smoke.
Cool.
And in between the 2 shows, I was hanging out with some of his relatives, his sisters, brothers, stuff like that. And his sister Sarah goes, "How do you get the name the governor?"
Go.
So, in that future documentary that Kaiser keeps threatening to make about me, I will start absolutely from the beginning. Now, it started like around in '76.
Nice.
In high school. A certain fellow that some people know here, who unfortunately has gone down a dark path, a fellow by the name of Doug Etzel.
Oh, wow.
He's my oldest friend. And about the time that California had a governor with the same name that I did, he started calling me the governor. And other people call me that, but still, most people call me Jerry. And in '87, I believe it was, I moved out of Knoxville, moved up to Ohio, Indiana, following a girl, of course, and had a nice relationship, but it's one of those things where I just like going to goddamn concerts too much. And
Everywhere.
she likes to sleep on the cold, hard ground. Rabid camper, so naturally we kind of drifted apart.
How was it again?
So, huh?
How was that
We
again?
never fought or anything.
She just wants to see you do
Yeah,
that.
well,
again.
it's saved for posterity. It can be used in my highlights. But I started, I started following Metallica around. Well, I saw them 2 times with Cliff, Johnson City, and in Knoxville when I lived here. Then I moved to Indiana. Then I saw the Monsters of Rock show with Van Halen and Scorpions and basically Metallica was second on the bill and blew everybody else off the stage. And I started going to their concerts pretty regular once they started playing shows for the Justice for All album. And went to at the time I was living in Dayton, Ohio. I've done seen them a few times, down at Deer Creek in Indianapolis and up in Fort Wayne. But at the time I was living in Dayton, Ohio. I started going seeing shows at this legendary arena called Hara Arena. Google it. It's been it's not around no more. It was actually taken out by a tornado about 10 years ago. But Metallica was playing there on the Justice Tour. And I kind of go early, kind of hang around the back, trying to, see if I could meet somebody. I had some of my records with me. And, at the time, I didn't know it, but, Tony Smith was kind of hanging around the back. And, he was their manager at the time. And, I see this guy come by with his hair pulled back, basically, clean shaven on the side, right? And, they went and talked and took off, and that was Jason. I didn't know him then. And he goes, "You'd be surprised," he said, "You'd be surprised how many people don't know him." And it's like, just because, they don't see the side of his head shaved off.
Yeah.
Well, go on a few more years, a few more tours, and, Black Album comes out. They tour everywhere. And, they did like, Toledo, Indiana, But by the time I get to the point where I meet Jason, you know, they was making this big deal on MTV about, you know, Metallica letting people take their shows. You know, and it's like, you know, the lawyer said, yeah, we want a copy of every one of them. So I started passing off my copies of my shows to Big Nick Hughes, the sound man. And at one show at, I think it's at Buckeye Lake in Hebron, Ohio. That's what basically, you know, where the Grateful Dead play every once in a while. You know, they'd have big festivals there. And is in 92, Metal Church is opening for him. And, you know, he slid me a pass. So it's like, all right, great, you know. So it's like, you know, they made, you know, at the venue, they made me take my CDs back out to the car. They wouldn't let me take my books in. So, you know, I get the pass, I go back, and I hang out around back. I don't know nobody. You know, I'm all mousy and everything. And, you know, people that's ever seen me, you know, if I'm not, you know, in part of the conversation, sometimes I just kind of withdraw. And, you know, I'm watching the people pose for the pictures and get their stuff signed. And, you know, I see this one kid there, he's like, you know, got this big Elvis doll. And, you know, he goes, well, you know, I see, you know, I'm so desperate to get something signed, I get a pizza box. I have to sign. And then, you know, I guess the kid kind of felt sorry for me, but, you know, he goes, well, come over here, I'll take your picture, you know. He had about one picture left on his camera. Of course, the picture didn't take. But, you know, also at that show was my friend Heather, who became a constant travel companion. But, you know, the kid, his name was David something or another. He took the Elvis thing and was talking to Jason, and Jason would say, you know, was talking to him, and you know, he's talking about you know the stuff that you know fans bring their artist gifts.
Yeah.
So you know Jason, you know, look at it, goes, well, if you get anything more Elvis or Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, let me know. And I kind of just blurted out, I've got some Stevie Ray Vaughan. You do? I go, yeah, I've seen him 4 times in concert, and I taped all the shows. And, you know, of course, you know, he was interested in it. So, you know, he wanted to know if I was going to go to any future shows. And, well, that show at Buckeye Lake happened to be on the 28th of June in 92. So I go, well, you know, it's like me and my sister and her boyfriend and my brother, we're going to go up to Summerfest. And, you know, they's playing there 2 days later. So, you know, more or less, you know, it's like, I thought, you know, he goes, how many you need? And I go, I don't know. I thought Ford and, you know, the guy that I was staying with, I go, how about 5? He goes, okay. And, you know, I didn't think that he's going to put me on the set list. We get up there and I check, and it's like, pull that envelope, you know, not only is there 5 after show passes, but there's also pavilion seats, because we had lawn seats.
Nice.
I'm going, all right, you know.
Took care of it.
So we go, and that time, you know, there's pretty well much documented by film, but of course I ain't got no big photo frame here. I ain't got no slideshow, so that won't happen. But we first go talk to Kirk, you know, get family photo and all like that. And then we talk to Jason, you know, and I'm talking to him, and he goes, you gonna be in Chicago? I guess the next night or night after that? And I go, well, I ain't got tickets. He goes, yeah, how many you need? Same amount? And he goes, oh, 15,000, huh? I go, no, just 5, and, you know, basically, you know, he said he'd put us on the guest list for Chicago. I tried my best, but I couldn't talk anybody into making a drive, so it didn't happen.
No.
But also at that same show, you know, I was talking to Kirk, and he was wanting me to try to find a particular Jimi Hendrix tape, which I don't know if it exists or not. But, you know, being a tape trader, you know, I had contacts. He was looking for the night where Jimi Hendrix was playing this scene the night Martin Luther King was assassinated. That was the show he was looking for.
Wow.
And because, you know, apparently he played a very emotional set. I don't know if it was taped or not. Considering the scene, you know, also, there's a lot of audio that's come out of there because that was where Jimmy would hang out when he wasn't in Electric Ladyland. So, you know, he gave me a phone number to call at their offices at the time, which was at 2020 Union Street in San Francisco. So it's like in between then and the next time I planned on seeing them, which was at the Hoosier Dome, July the 22nd, where they did their big tour with Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yeah.
So he ended up, hooking me up with passes for that. Not Jason. Well, me and my friends, we get there, we got the seat, we got seats, we got the passes, and we got there a little late, so we didn't get to see Faith No More. But we got there enough time to see all Metallica's show. And in between Metallica shows and Guns N' Roses shows was their after show, meet and greet. So it's like, we blew off to Guns N' Roses and went back and hung out.
Yeah.
Of course, me knowing that I was going to go, it's like I think I packed up like about 20 album covers to sign.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that's one of the night that all of them come out.
Wow.
And they all signed. Of course, Lars is the last one out, but
That's cool.
Jason was the first one to come out. He was holding court. He had this big round table, all kinds of people lined up around him. And, I just went to the back of the line 'cause I knew I had a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So, I was standing in line with my friend Craig and Tina, who was also companions, that I was very close to. I think Wayne met Tina before she died of brain cancer. They've been, lifelong friends too. And, we went and we hung out, and as the line getting closer and closer, and I was heading up towards Jason, he kept giving me the stink eye, it's like, when I got up to him, he just looked up at me and goes, "Where were you, Governor?" I go, "I couldn't get a ride."
Oh.
I knew exactly what he was talking about. And that was the day that he stuck the name on me.
Governor.
And he never addressed me as anything else other than the governor.
Nice.
So then all my friends started calling me the governor. And it just kept going on and on. And where did I put my notes? Oh, in the back pocket.
Of course.
And this went on for quite a while. Actually, in Lollapalooza '92, there was one of those after shows I couldn't make it to. That was denied entry, even though I had the proper passes.
Now.
So it's like me, Craig, and Tina, we go out to the car, and it's Lollapalooza, it's a party atmosphere.
That'd be great.
We find a guy with helium balloons.
Hell yeah.
So we just sit in the car, we're just getting baked, and getting high on helium and laughing gas or whatever.
Nitrous oxide.
We just having a great time, and after that, all my friends come out, and they was going, "Jason was wondering where you was at." And I go, well, he said they wouldn't let me in. He goes, "Yeah, we told him that." He had me a note, he sent me back a note saying "Gov,"
Nice.
more or less that he was going to have all their heads.
Nice.
So it's like I've always said that's the best after show I've never been to. But this governor thing goes on for a total of 58 shows with Metallica.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Until he decided, that he was going to leave the band. Now, when he, back when they played down in Atlanta at the Hoosier Dome, where they had all Kid Rock and all these other people there, James fucked up his back, so they had to reschedule some shows. Of course, Jason went, and he filled in on some of the songs, singing and stuff like that, and you can kind of tell the knife twists that Lars was doing then. He goes, well, it looks like Jason got his wish. He finally got to lead Metallica. And, it's like, I saw a lot of that kind of tension backstage, so
Yeah.
I was still totally unaware that by the time they got to Rumper Arena, and on August 9th, I didn't know that was his last show
Well,
with Metallica. That's what, he knew ahead of time because, on those makeup shows, he gave me and all my friends laminates.
yeah.
So we just kind of cock the walk a little bit, Actually, at one of the shows in Lexington, I would, one of my seats I was sitting at, I was sitting beside this one guy. He's wearing a Metal Church shirt, and they go, I said, cool shirt. He goes, yeah, I used to be in that band. Mike Howell.
Nice.
And he didn't get credentials. And it's like, how did he not get credentials? He toured with them.
Wow.
So it's like, after the show, I escorted him down because I had the laminate.
Yeah.
Down the soundboard, took him up to Big Mick Hughes, and he made sure that he got to see Kirk. He wanted to see Kirk real bad.
Nice.
And but unfortunately, recently he's committed suicide. People have a lot of issues, and I don't know what drove him to it, but also that same night at the after show, James come out. And this would be the last time I would personally speak to James. Because, they was moving this club to San Francisco out of Knoxville. Tony Smith was not their manager anymore. And that was the first time that James called me Jerry, and I go, you know my name?
Yeah. Wow.
These guys keep things inside their head. They don't let go. And after that, I've lost contact with Metallica. Eventually, after my friend Paul Manzo passed away, after seeing 6 shows, I kind of lost the will to want to see him because it was a brand, not a band.
Yeah.
Because once they started doing the big stadium shows without Jason, it's like me and my friends wasn't in that circle no more.
Yep.
It's more like I don't know, whatever system they got now, random give out passes or whatever. Used to, I was just like, hey Jason, I need some, or hey Tony, hey, we paid for our tickets. We didn't ask for the tickets.
Yeah.
We just wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
So after 6 shows, it's like I kind of hung it up, with those guys. But also during that time, Jason was playing with Voivod. And I went and saw a couple shows in Michigan where they did a couple of shows together. And then in 2003, when Robert joined Metallica and left Ozzy, Jason joined Ozzy and played with them. So during 2000 Ozfest, I was able to go to, I got a laminate for that tour too. I was able to go to 5 shows.
Oh, yeah.
And the last one was the 2000, August 26, 2003 Ozfest in Atlanta. That's the last time I talked to him.
Wow.
Until he come back around. Now, in between that time, I talked about it before. I made my peace with Metallica because me and my friend Dave went up to Chicago. We saw our friend Paul Manzo up on the screen, and then they just wrote me back in,
Wow.
It's like, I'm a Metallica fan now too, so. But I hadn't talked to Jason in all that time. Now, when he was in Knoxville, I didn't get to talk to him. I was able to talk to Tony, and it was good, because right now his wife's dealing with the same kind of cancer that Tina died of. And, but we did go to Nashville, stayed a couple of days there. And the first show, we was looking to see if we'd be set up with passes at the box office. He wasn't. But his sister made sure that we got backstage the first night. And me and Dave and Elizabeth. Elizabeth's somebody who used to be his girlfriend. We kind of hung around, and he was kind of dealing with family first of all, and other people. I just kind of just like, just stood in the back, just like, okay, whatever. Like through the door, and he comes walking around the door, he goes.
Fun.
And he calls me in, and we talk a little bit. And I said, how you doing? All like this. And I told him, how I made my piece of Metallica after, not seeing him for 20 years. And he's cool with that. Then he does what he always does. So, what's your campaign plans this year, Governor? And I go, I don't want no part of this. It's an ugly race, I don't know exactly what I said, but basically it's, I said, basically it's telling them that, the Tennessee governor's race was a clusterfuck.
You told him you vote for Jerry Green.
No, not yet. But, my friend Dave kind of called me back this, Dave, he likes the other guys, and it's like, we try not to talk politics. So, he kind of shut me down there. But before I left, the last thing I said to Jason, I go, if chosen, I will not serve. I will not take the office of governor of the state of Tennessee. And we was going to go back the next night, but it was one of those things where you got somebody that's being Barney Fife who wouldn't let his sister escort us back. So we just said, okay, fine. It's like, I go, sometimes, the best stories are the things you don't attend.
Exactly.
So, it's like after more or less 40 years of knowing this guy since 92, and then, there's like a big expanse period in between, 22 years, he still goes, does the governor stick to me,
Excellent.
Because he enjoys it, and it's like, I kind of play along with him on it.
Yeah, what the hell?
But I'm going to say this now. Don't vote brown, vote green. I try. I have my moments.
Oh, you do have your moments. All right. Anyone else? Thanks for coming, y'all. Remember, September 20th is the next Romper Room. So come on down and enjoy. And cheers. And yeah. Make sure you come to the Wayne Bledsoe, Doug Hemphill art show with Benny the Blade and Melungeons. September 4th. Cheers, y'all. Thanks. Nice. There, Mike's off. That was beautiful, Zach. Thank you. Excellent. I just love seeing you get on stage.
That is for the public record.
Good. Thank you. I love your stage.
She's right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
For suggesting.